A mother of 3, Nadia was studying social work when her husband suggested that instead of watching her favorite food show, she enter it. When she won, doors opened across the globe.
You are such a breath of fresh air. I mean, I watch you on television all the time, but to finally reach, I'm like,
Here we are.
Completely. So welcome to South Africa, I guess.
Thank you.
I know you've only been here for a very short time, but how are you finding the culture of the country, our beautiful sunny weather? And it's probably sunny most of the time, better than the UK.
Yes, definitely. The weather's nicer.
And have you tried anything like biltong?
I have. I've tried biltong and it is delicious.
Yeah, better than beef jerky?
Yes.
Somebody that loves biltong as much as I do.
When asked about their mom's job, her children say she lives her dreams.
You have quite an amazing story, from self-taught home cook to winning one of the biggest baking competitions in the UK, and I believe you also baked a cake for the Queen. Did you ever think this would be your life and this would be your career?
When you say it like that, I sometimes I don't quite believe it myself. And then when you say it like that, I think, oh my goodness, that did actually happen.
So what are we making today?
So we are making a raspberry ice cream cake. Raspberry, fresh fruit, ice cream cake. What's not to love, right?
My body's like, I'm so excited. Okay, so what's the first step?
So first, we're going to make a really simple sponge.
Since winning Britain's Greatest Bake Off, this TV audience favourite has hosted 3 of her own shows. She's a regular columnist for The Times and has ongoing publishing deals for her cookbooks as well as her children's books.
So is that the consistency you want?
So you don't want it to be clumpy. Give it 2 minutes, give it a really good whisk, and you should have something that's really smooth and glossy. So we've got a 20 centimetre cake tin lined,
Right.
ready to go, and this is going to help the cake to come out.
Okay.
So we're going to scrape all of that straight in there, and you can do whatever you like. You know, you could add fresh fruit to this mixture, you
Right.
could add cocoa to it,
Right.
you could add extract, you know, a bit of orange zest.
There we go.
You know,
Yeah.
you did not waste a bit.
Nothing.
After preheating your oven to 180 degrees, bake your cake for 50 minutes on the middle shelf. Then leave to cool in the tin for 15 minutes.
Take a sharp knife,
Okay.
and the trick is not to go all the way through.
This is such a cool trick.
So you just kind of cut all the way around. And this is one that my kids really like doing. I really enjoy doing stuff because it goes from being just any old cake to something a little bit special.
Special,
And I think that's
absolutely.
really important. So now I'm just going to score, just so it's easy to get
Right.
this cake out. So I'm just going to score the top.
Nadia, having achieved so much, what would you say are some of the challenges from being a home cook to literally building an empire in the cooking space?
It's about managing. I suppose that's the hardest thing for me, has been managing kind of being a mum
Yeah.
and having this career at the same time. And I'm really lucky because I have a very supportive husband, and that always helps.
Yeah.
But I'm also very lucky that I've got 3 sisters and a great mum. So I've been really lucky in that if I didn't have the balance, I wouldn't have what I have right now. But like, I have to give it to my husband. Without him, I don't know that I could have achieved this much, because he's just like, yeah, go off. Go off, you do your thing, and I'll keep the kids. Now for the filling. So I'll move this to a side here.
Okay.
Let's leave that there, and then let's make the ice cream. Now this is going to be the quickest ice cream you have ever made in your life.
Start with 300 mils of double cream.
Let's get some golden syrup in there, and this is going to stop it from crystallizing. So you know when you make an ice cream, sometimes it just freezes rock solid. If you get tired, you can pass it to me.
I like a good challenge, but I mean, I do like cake as well, but I didn't realize it came with so much work.
Yeah, and you're also vertically challenged like me, because I can see you on your tippy toes. Yeah. So that's our cream done. And now, remember those cake crumbs? So I've taken about 100 grams of those cake crumbs and crumbled them up.
Love.
We're gonna add that in there.
Oh,
no wasting, remember?
All this deliciousness.
All of that deliciousness. Okay, so now you add the raspberries.
It literally just gets better and better and better. Just when I thought like, oh, it can't get better than this, she just says, raspberries, crumbs. I'm like, what's next? Okay.
Right, so let's give that a little mix.
Okay.
I'm gonna just like fold everything through.
Right.
Squish those raspberries.
Oh, can you squish
a
them?
little bit, because
Okay.
you want them to bleed a little bit,
Right,
and,
okay.
and stain that cream.
Put the mixture into the hollowed out cake and level off the surface. Pop it onto a freezer tray, cover the top with a fresh fruit, and freeze for at least 2 hours.
Why do you think you love baking so much?
It's therapeutic. For me, it's therapeutic. I love baking because it's so exact. So I suffer with panic attacks and I've got anxiety. So the reason why I started baking in the first place was because there's something, when you're baking, you have to focus your mind on the recipe and in that zone. So I used baking as my therapy, I suppose.
I absolutely love cooking as well, and I find it very therapeutic, particularly when I'm feeling like a little bit low.
Yeah.
And I'll like have a glass of wine, I'll cook, and I'll sing, which I can't. And I actually find it quite therapeutic as well, and people just don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I used to think that everybody can cook and bake, and then I met my husband, and turns out you can't.
He loves you anyway.
It doesn't matter. I mean, there's no help for him, but let's face it, he eats all right, so it's okay. He does everything else.
Right.
He does everything else, so it's okay.
Now, Nadia, you love to write. You've got cookbooks, children's books, fiction. Which style of books do you enjoy writing the most?
They're very different. What I love about writing the cookbooks is when I write my cookbooks, they're almost autobiographical because every recipe I write seems to just have a story. There's always a memory or a food memory or a story or something. It's usually my dad. There's always some memory attached to that recipe. So I like writing the recipe books because I can do the two things hand in hand.
That's amazing.
Boom!
Listen, try the recipe at home. It's delicious, it's amazing, and it's simple. But you know what I love the most is the fact that even if you remove the sponge, you could just have that ice cream bit on its own.
Exactly.
If you come to my house and I'm churning ice cream, please tell me I'm wasting your time, because this is the new way to make ice cream, kids, okay?
It's so bad, it's good for you.
Nadia, it's been absolutely amazing spending time with you. You're such a breath of fresh air. And I wish you all the best with everything that you've got to do. Can I say bottoms up with the tea?
Maybe, whatever, let's do it.
There are 2 cookbooks to be won. Details on our Facebook page.